back to the Week 15 Heat Check. I mean, I guess not Week 15. This is more like Week 1 because it's the playoffs. Yes, and we are out here on the Funhouse back deck just a few hours before a vinyl wonderkin DJ fax machine takes the stage. Along with me this week is another well-known local DJ, Clayton. How are you doing?
It's your karaoke DJ who took the dicker out of gay. No SATs for me. First time in the playoffs. But before I sniff the belt, I'd just like you all to know, next up, gotta scorch the Fun World Order, a.k.a. Dano. Thank you,
Oh, well done. I'm sure the them are very proud wherever they are. And we might as well just get right into it here. Yes, as it all shook out, Clayton and I ended up with the 4th and 5th seed, and that means that we get to play each other in the first round. Well, let's see. It's already looking certainly favorable for you, Clayton. What do you see here?
I do have a couple concerns, real quick. DJ Moore and Breece Hall both went questionable today. And with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, I really don't know the quarterback situation with the Jets. But yes, outside of that, I'm feeling very confident. By the way, I did lose Herbert. I currently have 4 quarterbacks on my roster.
I was like, if I remember correctly, you traded 2 quarterbacks for Herbert.
Yes, I did. So now I have 2 who are on IR, which is Herbert and Rodgers, who I picked up today. Minshew is my backup. And I'm running with Baker Mayfield, baby. Baker Mayfield's going to pull it out.
It is so embarrassing that Baker Mayfield is projected barely 3 points less than my second-round pick, Patrick Mahomes. I am not looking a whole lot better in other parts of my roster, as I have had like 3 people who are out. Now, like, all of them are questionable.
You could really use Rondé Moore Stevenson back.
Yeah.
To fill that Singletary in your starting lineup.
Singletary hasn't been too bad, but he's just been getting like a couple of like goal line touchdowns. His like general production is not really high, so I've just kind of been getting lucky that he's just been sort of like doing okay, getting like 12s and 13s and stuff. But it would be really nice to have Stevenson back for Bill Belichick's "Fuck You" tour.
Now I got really lucky picking up McBride because him and Hockenson are almost equal right now, which is pretty awesome for me. So,
who are you most worried about on your roster? Who do you think has the biggest risk of underperforming?
I mean, obviously Baker Mayfield, first time starting him. He's at Green Bay. That's not an easy place to play, no matter how good or bad they are. Breece Hall being questionable. If he's questionable till game time, I'm still going to probably start him. And if he duds out, I don't know. That's 14 points projection. I'm only projected by, 16 here? So that closes the gap right there. So any mistake could put us right at 50-50.
But you are right now starting 3 running backs, so it's not like you would be like super ruined if you had to drop.
And I do have depth on the bench. Like I have DJ Moore, Drake London. I could possibly put in their places. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think my sort of X factors are, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes is angry, although
yes,
it seems that doesn't seem to matter much. There's only so much that you can do when everybody around you is lining up a foot offsides.
Well, they're playing New England, so this will be a good test for Belichick. What he can do with Zappy, his new quarterback against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I kind of think that last week against the Steelers was a spike. I don't think that they're going to be consistently good or anything from this point forward.
I agree.
And the other one probably would be George Pickens.
Yes.
It's like, that dude is just always good for either 4 points or 18 points.
Well, this honestly comes down to Trubisky because you're at a dome. So the weather's not going to affect Pickens at all. If Pickens can get open, Trubisky just has to find him.
But I think that otherwise, I'm gonna need a lot of things to break in a way that nobody's expecting for me to get out of this one. The winner, whoever wins our contest, they're gonna have to deal with
play
the
the
Niners.
49ers. And I'm looking up their schedule now to see who they play, not this week, but the
next
following week. And
Yeah.
I believe it's the Baltimore Ravens. And it
Oh,
is. So,
wow,
we might have a chance of beating Dion.
that's absolutely true.
What sucks is I just beat him the last week of the season, so I don't want to stretch my luck. But yeah, the Ravens isn't a bad matchup.
I don't know. That'll be appointment viewing. Did you see what time it was? Is that like a primetime game? Probably should be.
Monday Night Football.
Oh yeah.
So that will be the late playoff game.
Oh man, I'm so glad.
Half of Dion's team will be sitting out till Monday.
Man, that's gonna be something.
That Monday is also Christmas.
Wait, the Monday of the 9th?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And the Eagles play the Giants on Christmas Day at 4, so I think they have a few games on Christmas. So we need to be aware of that, especially that we're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
Open your presents and set your lineups.
comfortably sitting at the other end of the bracket is Don Cherleone, who gets a nice week off while he waits for the winner of Olajuwon and Derek.
With Lorenzo, I would closely watch who the Dolphins are playing because he does have Tua and Hill, and that has kept his team up to par with everyone. So that's an important thing, too, who the Dolphins match up.
Let's take a look at that. And Tyreek Hill got hurt last week. I don't think it was something super serious like that's going to keep him out next week. But, you know, the fact that Tyreek Hill has been getting like little dings and dents just all season long. Oh, Cowboys.
Oh, boy. I know the Dolphins' schedule gets... The Dolphins and Cowboys' schedules get rough.
Oh, that's so interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
So Lorenzo could be in trouble, too.
Dude, both the buys could get...
Yeah.
The strength of their teams are going up against some solid juggernauts.
I said it last year after both buys went down. Like, that's the first 2 seasons of this league. Both teams that got the bye lost in the playoffs. So it could be you or me sitting in the championship with Derek. And that's the way I'm looking at it right now. We'll see.
Oh, and we are now joined by our friendly neighborhood bartender, Derek. How are you, Derek?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You very nearly got a bye last week, but it didn't come out that way. So you sadly have to put in some effort this week.
Yeah, I think I was only short by DM by like
just a few points.
Yeah.
Jeez. Now you're ending up with a wild card round against Olajuwon.
Mm-hmm.
I see you have at the moment an empty running back spot.
At the moment, yeah, I'm waiting for a waiver wire to go through.
Oh, okay.
I tried to pick up Chase Brown.
Okay.
Because my other 2 backs, Robinson is currently listed as out in the hamstring industry, and Aaron Jones is just, I mean, he practices all week, and then they cut him
anyway?
They're not going to play him, so
So you can
have
be
somebody.
So we'll find out who that is 10 minutes before kickoff, really.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, how do you feel about this matchup?
I think Evans has a comeback game. I think Laporta does too. Austin Eckler is finally on the tear. And I think they're going to have to lean on him a lot with a good old pal Easton Stick from Carson Wentz University.
Who I continue to insist is not a real person. But all right, great stuff, and good luck, Derek, and we will hopefully be breaking down your matchup with the Don next week.
All right, yep, sounds good.
All right, thanks so much. There's going to be 2 people who are going to be there's going to be 4 people who are going to be upset about getting to set a lineup on Christmas Day. 2 of them are going to be Nick Baranowski and Mark Gutierrez, as they have the buys in the toilet bowl. But we don't know yet who the other 2 people are going to be. So let's get into that.
You suck.
The first game going on in the toilet bowl is going to be Drew versus Buka. Now, that is, of course, El Toro, as we have talked about many, many times, against Buka's Altered Punishment. He took the Waffle House Challenge, and pending anybody saying no to this, he would like to audible to getting publicly caned with a kendo stick in between every song of the next Dear Anna performance. It doesn't look good for our friend Drew. Looking at the benches to see if there's anybody who's waiting to come in here. I don't think I see any.
As far as their average points, they're fairly equal. Buka is ahead. I would say Buka is the favorite in this game.
Oh, yeah.
But
strongly.
Drew, if you lose, I'll hit Buka with the stick in the apartment. I'll just surprise him. I'll do that just for you. Buka, don't listen to this, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Buka's got a little bit of depth.
It's one of those things that makes you look at this and be like, how the hell did he end up in 7th place?
Well, Prescott didn't have the greatest start, and I know that Buka, that was his keeper this year, and now that the Cowboys are going off, one of the hottest teams.
That's true.
Buka just barely missed out. And he had James Conner out for a while, and I was talking to him about that. He's got a lot of questionable players on his bench.
I think I could put it this way. If Mark had Buka's roster, Mark would have an entire 10-minute segment about how he got done dirty this year.
I did find it interesting that both teams in the championship last year are playing in the toilet bowl this year.
Right, that was Buka and Nick.
Buka and Nick, yeah.
And entirely possible that they might have a very ignominious rematch next week. But Drew will have to really pull off a hell of a showing, / Buka's players will have to implode.
I'm surprised Drew's starting Browning at quarterback. That's my one surprise.
I mean, Browning actually hasn't been bad if you look at his game log. They're not bad, but his last 2 weeks he's been over 20 points.
All right, we'll see.
I mean, it's like, sure, okay, I guess in the end, if you're just throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and you're going to be all right.
Prescott versus Browning says it all about the matchup. It's like David and Goliath there, and David could beat Goliath. We'll see.
All right, let's take a look at the other one. This one's funny because this is a battle of two people who picked stand-up as their punishment. So no matter what, we're still going to have the possibility of stand-up comedy in the toilet bowl, whatever the result may be. Well, so it's going to be Howells, them, against Miggs, Rob, and the Hey Yo.
Yeah! Miggs has a lot to complain about because his team is better than 4-10. I know that he hit high score at least twice throughout our season.
Yeah.
It must have been luck of the schedule there. And
it's true. I see. You got the sort of like the DeAndre Swift, Devonta Smith, like sort of Nando there.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, although I'm doing it with James Cook and Stephon Diggs right now. But that's something that gives you a slightly higher floor and a slightly lower ceiling. And honestly, maybe in something like this, that's what you want.
Howells, if you want, I know we can't trade, but if you want to drop Lawrence, I'll drop Herbert, and you can take him back, and I'll take Lawrence back.
Collusion. Howells is armed with one of the quarterbacks that you dealt him in Russell Wilson, who, if I remember correctly, kind of came back down to earth a little bit last week. But, actually, no. Take a look at Russell Wilson's game log.
Yeah, it's pretty
good.
The
model of consistency. He's not blowing anyone's dick off, but he is he hasn't been a full point under 15 since week 8.
Averaging 17.22. I mean, that's better than what I got starting.
This is like, you know what? That's a steady ship right there that you can sail right out of the toilet.
That might be a trade I will regret. We shall see.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Clayton, I actually really appreciated the stones there because you're just like, all right, you're really, really going for the jugular there. And I think that's what it's. I mean, I've never won a fantasy title, and I think that possibly doing it requires taking a leap of faith. Sometimes
I have in other leagues, and I will say I want to win it so badly in this league more than any other league I've ever won.
As they are frantically trying to escape the toilet and regain their mystery. Cooper Kupp finally had a Cooper Kupp game last week, and now they get to play against Washington, who is apparently just they fire sold all their defenders, and the Rams goddamn near beat the Ravens last week. I continue to not be able to understand whether the Rams are a good team or a bad team.
I don't want to play them. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah.
They're putting up a fight.
That would be a miserable reel of tape to have to review. Kupp and Amari Cooper playing against Chicago, and I think the only reason Chicago is not allowing a lot of points to wide receivers is because teams are generally not bothering to pass against them in the second half of games.
If Cleveland had a grade A quarterback, they might be a lot more scarier team right now, but it's just their defense keeping them afloat. We'll see. I mean, they're really struggling with quarterback. I think they just sent Flacco to practice squad.
What?
They sent him to the practice
They
squad.
did not.
Yep, look up Flacco.
Because they're bringing DTR back?
I have no idea who they're starting at quarterback. I just saw that news today. I'm like,
dude, Flacco just turned in an amazing game.
I don't know what's going on.
He's had 2 good weeks. He's got 5 touchdowns. They're idiots to get off this train right now. Against Chicago? Why? Look at it. 16 points in his first week, 20 last week. That should be more than enough for the Browns to be like okay with that.
Flacco heads back to practice squad.
Man,
I don't know what Cleveland's thinking.
Kevin Stefanski's a fucking moron. He always has been. I think he just gets lucky with stuff.
They just signed Matt Canada on Cleveland's.
They should. You know what? And they probably will.
Deserving of it.
Well, actually, you know what they would do? They'd probably sign him for intelligence purposes and waterboard him and then cut him 2 weeks later. You know what? Waterboarding is exactly what that motherfucker deserves. It looks like the Hayos have the edge here. Yeah. Projected to be about 10 points higher.
Yeah, they're capable.
And so looks like them might need a little bit of divine providence to be able to escape the toilet bowl.
I agree.
But that said, we know that they're going to be eventually meeting up with Mark. And I don't think I said it at the top, but our the punishments of our 2 bye players are pastel medal for Nick Baranowski, where he's got to dress up as Stuart Smalley and remain at the front of a Buried at Dawn show throughout the entire evening. And Mark, who has already secured permission from Soda Santis to use their kitchen to create a 4-course meal for whoever might emerge as the winner in the actual playoff bracket.
We're in for one heck of a 3 weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, especially with over Christmas and everything, the way it's panning out.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So let's see. Where are we at here? Now it's the 13th today, so probably we'll be recording the next one. Yeah, the next one just before
Next one before it.
I don't got to do any Christmas shit yet.
No.
I can do that next week. Great. All right. Well, Clayton, anything else you wanted to hit on or throw out, relevant or otherwise?
No. Good luck to everyone else that made the playoffs. For people like Buka and Howells who just barely missed out, I feel for you. That's the roughest part. You're there, and now you're like, all right, I just got to beat up on the bad teams this year. But it's tough. But yeah, I like the way this is set up with the toilet bowl instead of just figuring out who last place is, and all right, you do your punishment, everyone else just scatter.
Well, for my part, I'll say, Clayton, it's an honor to face you this week. I think you've done an exemplary job of reversing your fortunes over the course of this season. It's an honor and a pleasure, sir, and good luck to you.
Thank you. You as well, sir.
And for the rest of you, have a great week. Good luck in the games if you're playing them. And we'll be back next week to check out those semifinals.